Will Russia actually run out of gas because of Ukrainian drone strikes? Ukraine has stepped up attacks on Russian oil refineries, and Western media quickly ran with reports of fuel shortages and rising prices. Even Donald Trump, in yet another U-turn on Ukraine, called Russia a paper tiger and claimed Russians can barely fill up their cars because of the long lines.
They have put it all out on the line. Their economy is going to hell.
Well, I live in Russia and I have a car, so I decided to check it myself. Well, this is a typical gas station here in Moscow, and well, as you can see, there are no lines, no panic, just the usual day. 92 is 70 cents per liter, and 95 is 82 cents per liter. Of course, some might argue that Moscow is shielded from shortages, so I drove outside the city and stopped at several gas stations. Well, this station is open and no lines. Same here, open, no lines. 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 I even called my friends in other regions and asked them to check their local stations.
Hey guys, it's Dan from Wild Siberia. Now they say that there's a fuel shortage all over Russia. Now it would impact where I live the most because I live in Irkutsk Oblast in Sludanka, a small town in Siberia. And as you can see, there's no major lines. We're about to put some fuel in. I'll tell you how much it costs after, but no panic. People can come and go as they wish. And here are the prices. It's a little bit glitchy, but it's 59.68 for the 92 and 63.20 for the 95.
Костя, привет! Из Екатеринбурга, Свердловской области, приехал на заправку. Бензин стоит у нас 95-й 62 рубля, 92-й там 57. В каких-то очередях я не слышал, знал только от тебя. Машина заправляется, уезжает, все в порядке.
Hello, my name is João and I live in south of Russia, and today, 24th of September 2025, I want to show how much it costs the petrol in Russia. As you can see, there is no lines and no competition to put petrol, just a normal day here. It's not a very high price, it's 73 rubles per liter, so it's a bit higher than normal, but not extreme still.
Most of the viral clips with long queues come from Russia's Far East. That's thousands of miles from Ukraine, actually closer to Alaska than to Moscow. So why would strikes on central Russian refineries cause gas lines there, but not in regions right next to Ukraine? Here's what I found. Russia's Far East has had fuel shortages long before the war. I dug up local news from 2020 and 2021. Same story. Empty pumps, long lines. The region has very few refineries of its own, and every time demand spikes, like this fall when farmers need fuel for harvest, stations run dry and prices jump. And yes, fuel prices are rising across Russia, about 9–10% since January, roughly the official inflation rate. So, do Ukrainian strikes matter? Well, sure, they force refineries to stop for repairs, and, that slows supply and costs oil companies money. But it's hard to say if that impact is bigger than the usual seasonal or logistics issues. And just to back this up, after I filmed the main video, several Russian governors from regions bordering Ukraine admitted that there are fuel disruptions. Apparently, the worst situation is in Crimea, where drivers were filmed lining up in front of gas stations. The local governor said that the problem happened because Russian oil refineries have been producing less oil lately.
В связи с тем, что часть заводов, то есть в данном случае, то есть просто физически, то есть не работает, значит, у нас возникли проблемы и перебои с топливом. Гарантированная ситуация в течение 2 дней поправится полностью по 95-му бензину, и в течение 2 недель максимально это будет решен вопрос по наличию 92-го бензина.
He didn't say this was directly because of Ukrainian strikes, but I guess it's safe to say that they played a huge role. So, do Ukrainian attacks put extra strain on Russia's oil industry? Of course, and I even made this map to show you the scale. First, I'm highlighting the regions that have faced any sort of fuel problems lately. And now, I'm highlighting those that haven't. On a personal note, neither I nor anyone I know has had any trouble filling up their cars lately. But I don't know, maybe this will change. I'm just showing you how things look right now. There's also a reason why Ukraine prefers refineries over other targets. According to Ukrainian military expert Sergei Flesh, out of 20 long-range UAVs, only 2 usually make it to the target, and even then, the payload is too small to seriously damage big military or industrial facilities. That's not me saying, that's a Ukrainian military expert. Last year, several Ukrainian drones hit residential buildings in the city of Kazan. They wrecked apartments and sadly caused civilian injuries, but not enough to bring a building down. Oil refineries, on the other hand, can catch fire even from something as small as a Molotov cocktail. And those burning images, well, they're powerful PR, they grab headlines and apparently even make Trump rethink Russia's strength.
It could be that Russia's a paper tiger.
But we still don't know the real damage or how quickly those refineries are repaired. Some could be back online in just a few days. Russia also strikes Ukrainian refineries and fuel depots like in this clip. And fuel prices in Ukraine are up about 7% since the start of the year. Is that because of Russian strikes? Well, hard to say. What I do know is that in Ukraine you can be punished for posting images of Russian strikes, which honestly makes sense during wartime. You know, these next videos were shot on the same day. In Ukraine, people usually film just a plume of smoke, cutting out everything on the ground that could help Russian intelligence assess the strike's accuracy. In Russia, like here, when Ukraine hit the center of a coastal town, people film everything, burning cars, houses on fire, the whole scene. The rules are looser, so you see way more footage coming from Russia. And that's why this is so scary. It means anyone can cook up a story out of context, wrap it into dramatic headlines, and feed it to a world leader who shapes foreign policy. What if next time NATO decides to shoot down Russian jets and start World War III because, well, they think Moscow ran out of fuel for its air force?
Do you think that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace?
Yes, I do.
And how would people in Europe or the US know if those reports are true if channels like mine are banned on YouTube? Well, to me, that's scarier than any drone strike or burning refinery.